How's everybody doing? Good, thank you. Hey, first of all, thank you for all you guys for coming. I really appreciate you going to spend this hour with me. I know there's a lot of other things going on, and the fact that you're choosing to spend this hour here, it means a lot, so I really appreciate it. So who in here is currently managing their own website? Pretty much all the hands. So on your websites, does everybody have an e-commerce site? Okay, you've got an e-commerce site. So the talk today is not necessarily about an e-commerce site, but more about the overall web presence that you have as far as selling your company. It's not about actually a conversion of selling a product, but does your website sell your business? That's really what we're going to talk about today. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
All right, great. So fun fact here, are there more Google searches or YouTube plays per second?
What do you mean by e-commerce site?
Where you actually sell a product online. So you've got your website and you've got a store and you want to sell a piece of equipment where the person can make that purchase right there on their site. And we can review some of that here as well. But again, my overall message is selling the business as a whole. So Google, largest search engine in the world. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. So every second, which one is going to have more searches? Is there more people searching per second on Google or more plays on YouTube? Anybody have any idea?
It's still Google,
Plays on YouTube,
but
Google,
YouTube's catching up.
but YouTube's catching up. 40,000 Google searches every second and 135,000 YouTube plays every single second. I thought that was pretty crazy myself.
That is.
So quickly, I recognize a few faces, so I'm not going to go into a long detail about me, but I've been building websites and working on web presences since about 1997. Built a lot of websites, really got turned into the SEO world, search engine marketing, and really have been on that path working in different industries ever since. That's a little bit of quick little snapshot of me. So when I say we're going to talk about the overall web presence, the health of your site, and how well it's built to attract people, what I'm talking about here is inbound marketing. Is anybody in here familiar with the term inbound marketing? All right, good, because that's really what this entire talk is about inbound marketing.
Can you do a little bit what it is?
Yes. So what inbound marketing is the promotion of your company through blogs, videos, social media, newsletters, and it aims to attract users at different stages of the buyer's journey. So what you're doing, you're creating various content that answers questions that the people are going to have through that buyer's journey. So at the beginning, you're educating them, you're giving them more and more information throughout that buyer's journey until they're ready to make a purchase. So basically, you are that education process, and that's what inbound is. It aims to attract people to you instead of jumping out or standing at the top of a rooftop and yelling, hey, come buy my stuff. Inbound marketing is more about giving out great information and pulling people into you. That's the theory behind it. So the topics that we're going to cover, we're going to talk about keywords. Keywords are the foundation of everything with search marketing. We're going to talk about a little bit about SEO and how to optimize your website to get found. And we're going to talk about creating exceptional content. And this really ties into what inbound is. Inbound is all about creating content and promoting that content. So after we create that content, we're going to talk about how you can promote that through newsletters, blogs, videos, and paid marketing. Once you promote that content, then it's time to try to convert. You want to try to convert users into visitors or visitors from your website into customers. And the last thing that we're going to talk about is analyzing all that, seeing what's working and what's not working, and making some revisions. So the very first topic is the keyword strategy. Really here, if you want to boil thing down to one component of search marketing, keywords are it. That's the foundation of everything. You need to make sure that the copy on your website has the same information that the people are using to search for. So how do you create a good keyword list? So what I'm talking about up here is don't think about just scuba diving. It's a really challenging word to try to rank for, but think about more long-term keywords. Try to couple it with geo-targeted, so whatever your area may be. Scuba diving in Miami or scuba diving equipment near me. Think about a little bit longer tail keywords that are going to be more relevant to your customers. I kind of got ahead of myself there. But yeah, choose competitive words like scuba diving, in Vegas, or buy gear around me. And also think about the keywords and think about the questions that you get from your customers, and use those also in the content that you create, and try to answer those questions in the form of content. So when we're talking about keywords, you want to make sure that you are using the right keywords. Google Keyword Planner is probably one of the best resources to use to find out what people are searching for, and if you're going to be using the right keyword. This next slide kind of goes into a little bit of a snapshot of that. So right here, what this is. So if you just go to Google Keyword Planner, you can pull up the same dashboard here, but it's got a little input box. So what I did here is just typed in scuba diving in Miami. So here's the search term column. This is the average monthly searches, and there's two options. One is a global and the other is local. Local is not your area, local is North America. Just so if you're getting on there and you see local, it's not going to be your local area. Competition, this is going to be how tough it is to rank for that keyword. And this is based on how many people are using that keyword in paid marketing like Google AdWords. In this very far right column, this is going to tell you how much that keyword would cost if you're going to be using Google AdWords. So if I wanted to rank, or not even rank, if I wanted to show up in the search engines as paid marketing for scuba diving in Miami, I'm looking at $1.93 per click. And also with this average monthly searches, I know that there's about 1,300 people in North America that are searching for that every single month. What's also great about this keyword planner tool is, although I know that I'm looking for scuba diving in Miami, it's going to spit out more results here that are related to that same search. So you don't have to think of every single keyword or keyword phrase. It's going to give you suggestions here. In addition to that, it's going to tell you how many people are searching for it, how difficult it is going to be to rank for, and if you wanted to go into a pay-per-click campaign, how much that's going to cost you per click. Does that make sense? All right, great. So optimizing your site. So the basics of search marketing, or SEO, the very top is how your website's set up. You want to create a structure that makes sense to the search engines. You want to create a URL structure and basically a very solid hierarchy of your website. A good UI, UX. So UI is user interface, how it looks, and UX is user design, and that's how it functions. I'll give you an example. You got like a ketchup bottle, the old glass bottles that take the top off, you can dump the ketchup out. So that's a user interface. So a good example of a user design is, the other ketchup that's got the top on the bottom, it's a squeezable one. Flip it upside down, pop the top off, and you can squeeze the ketchup right. That's more about the experience. So the glass bottle, the design, both of them are the design, but the user interface would be how it looks. The UX is how it functions, through the customers. Did I see a hand? Sorry. The third thing with SEO essentials is creating exceptional content. Is anybody here familiar with, people will tell you need to get links on your website to rank? So there's many ways to do that, and being in that field for quite a while, you could purchase links from link farms. There was ways to cheat the search engines, but you're always going to end up paying for it in the long run. Trying to cheat up front, you're going to get in trouble later on by Google just not serving your website up anymore. So what I have found, the best way to get links to your website is just by creating great content that people consume and they want to share that. So they're going to link to it from their site. Hey, check out this great piece of content that I found from XYZ site. That's going to be the best way to get links to your website. And then the third piece of SEO is stuff that you can do on your website yourself, on the back end, creating title tags, metadata, and putting that for the search engine. Every search engine, they're going to come, they're going to crawl your website, and they're going to report back to Google all the title tags and headings and descriptions that you have on your website. So when you build it, you want to make sure and go in and add all those little SEO components to it.
You had mentioned in the earlier one today, title tags.
Yes.
I understand, I guess headings would be defining the topic, defining the page, or defining particular content in the
So yeah,
page,
your title tag, if we think of it as about as many words as you can have, so title is going to be your shortest and your most important component to the SEO. So it's going to be a very brief description of what that page is going to be. So I'll use TDI SDI as an example. Our title tag is probably going to say something like sport diving, technical diving, and public safety diving training. So that's just going to give an overall view of what what that page is going to talk about. What a heading is it's a little bit more detailed. So within the copy on that page, all the text that we have, that headline is going to sum up what that copy is going to say. So the title tag is going to sum up what the entire page is about, and then the heading is going to sum up what that content block is about.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Great. All right, so again, know this. There's a million things that you can do to help your search rankings. But if you just focus on creating value for your end customer, you're going to win, right? Try not to think about what the search engine wants. Think about what the user wants and create content that's going to help your user, because at the end of the day, Google's in business is because they return the best search results to the people searching, and that's what keeps them in business. So instead of trying to trick the search engine to show up number one, even though you might not be that relevant, think about that person and create that content that's going to help that person. Again, going in to create great content. So the way that I look at creating great content, it has to do one of three things, or all three things. It's got to educate people, it's got to inform people, and it has to entertain people. If you can do one of those three things, you're going to win. So I want to show you guys some examples. I got 3 examples, each one from each of those that we've done recently at SDI. So if we look at the educational component, we shot about 5 or 6 videos all around masks. Clearing your mask, purchasing a mask, cleaning your mask, storing a mask. And what you're seeing on the left-hand column here is our blog post. So we created some visuals for it, we talk about it, and we broke each one of those components down into videos. Here's just a larger format of that we've got that stored on YouTube. And we also made little animated GIFs that we can populate on the site as well. So all this content here was built to educate our users.
And that's all on one page?
Yes, it is. It's not organized like this, but this here is the actual page. So if you were just to probably Google, mask clearing SDI, this is the page that would come up. Actually, it would be, where am I at here? So the screenshot cut off here, but so we've got 5 videos, I believe, that are on this page. So we got 1, 2, and the page cut off. Mask clearing right here. So there's a video here, but there's an entire page that we built just on that. So this is the everything you need to know. So it's the overall view of those 5 different videos. So when we look about informative, we want to inform people. One of the questions that we get at headquarters all the time is, what is the course equivalency to PADI or SSI? So between our training department, we went out and did all the research and found out what our course and what the other training agencies' courses, and we kind of linked them together. Like, if you have this qualification, it's going to be the same on our end for this course here. Yeah. So if you just type in probably, our brand name, actually on every one of our course pages, depending on what agency you're under, if you're under SEI courses, there should be a little box on each one of those course pages that's going to have a little graphic that's going to look just like one of these graphics here. I think every one of our course pages has that. So that was our goal here, was to inform people. Since we get that call all the time, we figured if we could create that content and put that online and people are searching for that, maybe that can help them answer those questions off the get-go. And that third component is about entertaining people. You guys familiar with this book here, Dive Pioneers and Innovators? Brett Gillum wrote it several years back and gave us the rights to use it digitally. So we've been spending the last few months converting that into a digital format. But the whole purpose is just to entertain. It's just 19 different interviews of different divers throughout history. It's a really good book. And what we wanted to do is just put it out there free to everybody. So we put that online. And you will be seeing that going to our website probably when we get back from DEMA. We'll have some time and create some headers and some more content and throw it up there so you can easily navigate to it. All right, content promotion. So once you build this content that educates, informs, and entertains, you want to promote it. The 3 biggest promotions that we use is through email, our blog, and through social. And each one of those we've seen some great success for. So if you go to our blog, it's just going to have a running list of all of our articles, and really that's where everything lives. So we'll create a new article, blog post it up on there, and get some traffic that way. But what we want to do is to publish it to all of our membership. So what we can do is package that up in a newsletter format. This is something that we had done on social. Shot a video about fin kicks, put it out there organically, let it get some traffic, and then after it has that run of organic traffic, we wanted to put some money behind it to boost it and get it in front of more people. And by doing that, just this one video here, you can kind of see that we had about 200,000 people that it got in front of, and 76,000 people clicked on this to watch this video. So that's the power of paid social. Put a couple dollars behind some of the content that you're creating and put that in front of a lot of people. And emails. If you guys are members or come to our website, we have 3 newsletters that we send out, one a week, one for each agency. So as we're writing these articles, we're also putting them out on social, and then we're packaging them up at the end of the week and putting out a newsletter to all of our memberships. And this is another way to help promote the content. If you're going to spend all that time to create it, you got to then step back and spend equal amount of time or double that time and push that out there. So once you've created it, and once you've published it and promoted it, it's time to start looking at the conversions. So use the content that you create to try to generate some leads. So here's a quick little screenshot type thing, a little graphic that I drew up. And this is basically, it's the dive site that always produces. So if you've got a cool dive site, and use it, this example can be used in any format here. But if there's a dive site that you have that you want to bring people to, talk about it on your blog and promote it. But what I mean by conversion here is, have something on there that enables people to contact you, right? It doesn't have to be a conversion like they're going to purchase something, but give them a way to reach out to you. You spent that time creating it, you promoted it, and when you bring people there, you want to make sure you capture that lead. So have some type of conversion contact piece on there, email, a form, or something that you could purchase directly. All right, and after you've promoted it and built all your conversions, now it's time to analyze it, right? You want to find out what the people are doing, what is working and what is not working. So how do you analyze your marketing strategy? Does anybody here use any type of software to help them figure out what is and what is not working? Analytics, yep. So that's one of our primary programs that we use is analytics. And what you want to do is you want to look for opportunities to improve your website through analytics. How much website traffic is coming in there, how many leads are coming in, and how many customers. And you want to set metrics for success. What's going to define a success for you? Is it more customers? Is it more leads? Is it a combination of everything? And at the end of this is you want to measure everything and evaluate it. Find out what is and what is not working. So here's just a snapshot again of what we talked about. To get an overall inbound marketing strategy is create a great foundation of keywords. Make sure that the copy that you're using on your website is the same content that people are searching for. You want to optimize your website to get found by plugging in some of that on-site SEO data. You want to create exceptional content. Everything that you create needs to answer those questions. Once you create that, you want to promote that through your various channels of your blog or your email or your social. You want to convert those traffic to leads and get those leads to customers. And the last thing that you want to do is you want to analyze everything that you're doing and make small revisions. And over time, keep looking at it, find out what's working, make those little tweaks, and keep making improvements. All right, does anybody have any questions?
I have a whole bunch.
You have a whole bunch. Throw one of them at me.
I don't know where to start. Let me think about it a minute. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that I so need to work on my website. I mean, my website's out there. It's difficult and time-consuming to keep up with it. So the one thing that hit me the most is create the content that people want, put it out there, and draw them in.
Yes.
So, and that's with just a section that has questions answered or something. I know you wouldn't call it that, but, or like?
We do ours in the form of a blog. So we've got a blog for each
okay.
agency. So, we've got 101 topics to think about to write, but, always reach out to your customers. What questions are you getting from people that walk into your door, or do they call your shop or whatever and ask you questions? Keep a journal and write down all those questions. And when you get enough of the same questions, answer those in the form of like an article or something.
Maybe putting on the front page of your website, got a question? I don't know, I just thought, that just hit my head. Would that be an idea? Somebody would come to your website or something like that, and say, I got a question, you put your question in, and then you turn around and answer it in a blog maybe, or?
You could, and what we have on our website, we have a chat feature as well. There are plenty of those little various chat features that you can use that are some low cost as well. And, we've got chats going on all day long. So if we do have someone that has a question, that just gives them another format to reach out to us.
Okay.
But yeah, we've got our whole customer service team is on chat all day long, and that's one of the things that they do is we record each one of those chats and look at those each week and see if there are any repeat questions that come through, and then we can try to answer that in the form of a blog post. Does anybody else have any questions? Yes.
So how much time, if you're a dive shop owner, you don't have the expertise, you want to bring either someone in or use an instructor or use one of your staff members, how do you sort of block or bracket the amount of time you need to dedicate to do this function well?
Yeah.
Getting to see results.
That's a really tough question. So we try to yeah, it's really the more you put in, the more you're going to get out of it at the end of the day, right? And you can't do everything yourself. You can't build a site, write the content, create the graphics. You've got to try to be as efficient as possible. And I had a talk yesterday. It was about the various business tools that you can use to help you get all these things accomplished. There's lots of sites out there that can help you write the copy. Textbrokers.com is a great site that you can look for various authors, and you can even categorize them, right? Like, so I want someone who's very good at writing for recreation. I need someone who's very good at writing about poetry, You can categorize those writers, and then you can read through each one of those guys. They all have bios, and they all have articles that they've written in the past. So you can kind of see the flavor that you like, and you can reach out to that person and have them write content for you. There's also other sites out there. If you're not a creative person, there's various sites. Canva's a great site that you can get cool graphics made for you, Facebook posts made for you, blog graphics made for you. 99designs.com is another great resource. If you need in between like still images, graphics, or videos, or even audio, any type of creative content, you can use 99 Designs. And all you need to do with all three of those different services, a copy, a video, or a content creation, is just kind of write out your scope of work. You don't need to do the creative, but just explain what you need, throw it out there, and those will start coming into you. So that's a way of, by trying to minimize your time that you're going to be spending on your online marketing, if you could just create that little scope of what you need and go out and find those resources to help you put them together. And then, like I said, like instructors or anybody that's out in the water doing things, if they have a background in writing or web or any of that, try to reach out to those guys and build relationships with them and see if they can, help you create some of that content. Yes?
Can you give us any information on questions that might be good to ask, or how we would flush out a good web designer?
Yeah. So being on a budget, what I like to do is reach out to the local college. You've got various programs. You've got a web design program. These guys are anxious to build up their portfolio, so you can reach out to the local college and ask for the upcoming graduating class or the recent graduating class and look through their portfolios, how much work they have, so you can kind of have an idea of what they do. But just reach out to those guys, and they're always anxious to build their portfolio because they need a job or they need a better job. They've only been in the industry for, maybe they haven't graduated yet, or they've just been out for a few months. They're looking to build up their portfolio, so that's really a great resource to get something done at a lower cost. And by doing that also with that graduating class, you've got a potential pool of 10 or 20 people that are graduating, so you can kind of gauge what kind of work that they're doing before you bring them on. There's also lots of other website designer sites. 99 Designs is one of them. You know, you can go on there and look through all these different web designers. You can look at the kind of websites that they've created, if that's the flavor that you like, and then just reach out to them directly. But, and, you know, ask Google. That's probably your best resource. You know, hey, looking for a local designer. I mean, Craigslist. Craigslist is a great place to find, you know, web designers. Yes?
Is it really necessary to go for a web designer for you? There are websites you can create for yourself for free.
Yes.
Is it more effective to get a paid website, or does it not make any difference? Depends on how you do it?
It does depend on how you do it. I would gauge it on where your expertise is. You know, if you feel comfortable doing some of those plug and play websites yourself, then yes, by all means, I would do that. If you don't feel comfortable in that area, then I might outsource that to somebody who builds websites.
Can I share something on that?
Yes.
I use Weebly, okay, and I put together a website that when you look at it looks fantastic, but I don't have a clue on what to do, the keywords and all the stuff in the back that puts together the website so it attracts attention and that kind of thing. That's where I am at fault.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's probably a point where you'd have to go and find somebody that can help you do that. So you get found on Google and all these places.
And some of those sites are going to be they're going to be tougher to edit because they're going to be locked down. Like a lot of these templated sites, you can't do certain things that you want to do. I mean, like when I was talking about some of the on-site SEO, I have seen sites like Wix, and I'm not very familiar with where they are today, but when I was looking at them several years ago, there was some of the on-site data that you just couldn't actually change. You know, you couldn't go in and manipulate it. Like, so if you created a page called, you know, XYZ, it automatically plugged in that metadata saying XYZ, and you were unable to edit it. So that, you know, before you invest all that time in building out a Wix site or a GoDaddy site, you know, I would try to get those answers up front. You know, how much editing do I have? What's my limitations or what's my capabilities here? Does that help? Okay. Any other questions? All right, guys. Well, hey, thank you very much for spending this time with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.